Morning, everyone. This is Stephanie McLean, Soil Health Specialist for the NRCS here in Indiana. Thank you for joining us today. I can't really tell how many people are on the group because since this is a webinar, I can see a lot of the presenters and the hosts and the co-hosts, but I cannot see any of the attendees today. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful March 2nd. This is a very important day for me. This is the day that I got married 26 years ago. So what a better way to celebrate my anniversary than to spend it with you and talk about cover crop termination and an herbicide efficiency. So anyway, I know that Lisa Holscher was going to kind of kick a few things off with some Zoom etiquette, but I know that she's busy doing some troubleshooting with some of the other presenters to get on. So I'm wondering, Jessica or Sheila, are you willing to kind of give a little bit of a Zoom run through for the audience today?
Yeah, just real quickly. I know many people are very familiar with Zoom and Zoom webinar, but we are going to use both the chat and the Q&A function. We generally try to direct questions for the speakers to the Q&A function and anything else over to the chat, but we have a group behind the scenes monitoring that chat, and we'll be presenting those questions to our speakers as appropriate and as we've discussed beforehand. So that's the main thing. So I think that's what Lisa planned to cover.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Jessica. And all of those buttons are down at the bottom of the screen, right? So our Q&A and our chat are down there and other things like that. So feel free to pop those questions in there and just ask questions. That's how this training is going to be, to make sure that it meets all of your needs for the next 2 days. With that, I'm going to pass the torch over to Shannon for a brief welcome.
All right, thanks, Stephanie, and good morning, everybody, and welcome to the day 1 of 2 to cover this critical topic and get you the information that you need. First and foremost, congratulations, Stephanie. And thank you too for taking part of your important day and sharing your knowledge with the field. So much appreciated. Yeah, again, this came about from you all at the local level. You know, hearing the questions that your farmers were posing on how they can manage their chemicals and their weeds with chemical shortages and increased costs. And so we want to thank you for that. And then thank you for working with Stephanie and Tony Bailey at the state office to pull together this team to present this information to you. So I want to thank the team itself, and I want to acknowledge members of that team. So first and foremost, our valued partners at Purdue, Bill Johnson and Fred Whitford. And then finally, we rely on our partners with CCSI, Lisa Holscher, Jessica Haynes, Sheila Schroeder, and our newest member of the team, Hans Schmitz. And then finally, the NRCS folks who pulled this all together, Stephanie McLean, Tony Bailey, and Adam Jones from the Northeast. I want to thank him for his participation in this training too. So with that, I will turn it back to Stephanie, and I hope you all have a great 2 days and learn a lot. Ask questions, please be interactive. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shannon. All right, Sheila, for the next maybe 5 minutes, I'm going to quick run through just a few slides just to kind of set the stage before we go to Bill. Okay. Oh, and it looks like you've already stopped sharing your screen. Thank you. All right. So again, what the focus of the training is today is cover crop termination and efficient herbicide usage. We're looking at this as a basic and necessary training for all of our conservation planners and ICP partners and everyone across the state. These are really important awareness and understanding topics to communicate with our farmers. As a side note, for those taking this course today and those who are a conservation planner through the NRCS conservation planning curriculum, attendance for this course will equal 2 contact hours or continuing education credits. But again, these are specifically for conservation planner certification. So I'm going to continue to use the term contact hours. Employees and supervisors will work to track this in AgLearn, and those contact hours are required to maintain your conservation planner certification over the 3 years. Every 3 years, I think planners will need about 40 credits. So things to think about throughout this presentation today. And one of the things that I'm realizing as I'm doing this is I'm not actually in presentation mode. So we're going to quick flip that. Welcome to Stephanie being super prepared. Things to think about right now. What's different about this year, right? So why is it so crazy, and what's going on, and you know, why is this such a hot topic? So think about what's different about this year in relationship to other years. And also with that in mind, also think about how the discussions that we're having today can be the same discussions that you have every year with your farmers. Herbicides, right? They're used a lot in the conservation practices that we regularly schedule and implement in conservation planning efforts that ultimately result in a contract in a conservation program. In fact, I actually reached out to our Central Region tech staff, or technology staff in Fort Worth, to see if they could give me some information pertaining to the number of conservation practices that we have in our suite of practices across the country. How many of them actually refer to herbicide usage, chemical termination, those types of things that kind of imply the use of chemicals within the successful implementation of that practice. And they couldn't give me a number because it's not something that can actually be queried out. But if you think about all of the practices that refer to the use of herbicides for seedbed prep, for weed control, for other issues like that, I would guess that minimum 20 to 30 practices regularly deal with the use of herbicides. Other things that we want to think about is weed control and cover crop termination strategies for this spring. We're going to delve into those things in great detail. And then tomorrow, we're going to really hit on, and today as well, really hit on herbicide efficiency in a time of shortage and beyond. And then the NRCS cover crop termination strategies, or Tony and I will be hitting on NRCS programs and just some additional strategies to continue to communicate with our farmers. And just basics, I'm not going to go into this very much, but again, this has been building up for at least 2 years, and these short supplies that we kind of run into, we hear a lot of people talking about it. My personal experience about this that really hit home was when I was contacted by a crop consultant in early January, and he said to me, "What are we going to do about this, Stephanie? I have, you know, I'm working with my growers, and Roundup Power Max was $18 a gallon last year, and in early January it was $50 to $60 a gallon. Potassium was $300 a ton last year. Now it's $830 a ton. The farmers I'm working with are looking at $200 to $225 more cost per acre invested in their corn crop because of these increased costs. What are we going to do about this, Stephanie?" You know, so he brought this to my attention early, and then just like Shannon mentioned, I was contacted by a group of DCs and soil health team members saying, "We're really concerned that this is going to be a problem when our farmers come to terminate their cover crops this spring. We really need to increase awareness across the state for our conservation planners and our partners and everyone working with farmers, because although our advanced soil health farmers may have this figured out and got this you know, nailed down to a science, and they're really comfortable with everything that's going on, our farmers that are just beginning either in no-till or cover crop systems, those are the people that we really need to support, because we want to ensure that they have success the first time stepping out into this, and we are a key role in their support system. So that's one of the things that I want you to think about today is, what are you hearing and seeing in your office every day? What conversations are you having with farmers? Are they bringing these things up to you? Are they talking about their concerns of cover crop burn down? Are they Are they bringing up the idea of potentially using tillage for weed control or killing their cover crops this spring? You know, are you having conversations with your fertilizer or chemical suppliers in your county, or the agronomists that work with your farmers? Are they talking about this, saying, yeah, this farmer, they're going to have to work this field and till up these cover crops, or they can't maintain their no-till practices? Are you hearing more inquiries about trying to plant green to reduce herbicide usage? These are all things that I want you to think about, and just have your ears be listening and to your farmers as they come in, because these are additional stressors on top of our everyday and normal springtime farming stressors. And these are big issues that our farmers are dealing with, and we're an important resource in this whole process to provide that support and help give them information that they can make sound management decisions with. So day one, and after this slide, there'll be one last slide to go over day two, but day one, we're finishing up just the brief introductions and objectives of the training, and then we're going to go into the current topics, meeting scenarios, and the rest of that. So those will be the sessions that we have for today. And we have breaks strategically timed through all of this. And day two, just be a recap from today, and then going into herbicide efficiency and some additional guidance from Tony and myself. With that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and hand it on over to Bill.